Hello my friends and happy holidays. I hope you like my classic Christmas special scene that I've got going on today. The only thing we're missing is the fire, but we'll be getting that going tonight. So you may or may not know this, but Andrew's and my families both live across the country, so we're used to spending the holidays alone. But this year we were lucky enough to have my parents come visit right after Thanksgiving. So we had a blast decorating the house for Christmas and doing one of my favorite traditions, which is baking Christmas cookies. Now, I never used to make Christmas cookies actually, and neither did my mom. This was something that my grandma did. And ever since she passed away, I make sure to keep this tradition going because it really reminds me of Christmas at her house, which was always fantastic. She must have made like 15 different types of cookies. It was a little excessive, but my absolute favorites were her spritz cookies. And if you don't know what spritz cookies are, they're basically just very buttery, and I'm a totally more of a butter person than a sugar person. So this is exactly what I have to make every single year. And true to her tradition, she used to make wreaths, trees, and super randomly camels. So I make these every single year. I still actually even have her cookie press, which is the only one that can make that camel shaped cookie. So I go through the extra work just to make sure that I have the camels, because when I was a kid, that was my absolute favorite. Now back then, my grandma did not care about pairing her Christmas cookies with anything but a glass of milk. But now that we're at my house and I grew out of drinking glasses of milk a very long time ago, we step it up a notch around here and we like to pair it with a little bit, things a little bit more sophisticated. So this year, my favorite cocktail for Christmas has definitely been eggnog. If you hung out with me last year, my drink of the season was definitely hot buttered rums. Still love that one, but eggnog is, just kind of what I've been craving lately. And as good as eggnog is with Christmas cookies, sometimes it's just like, it's too much. Eggnog can be really, really heavy and mouth coating. And when you have cookies like spritz that are really buttery and just kind of mouth cloying, it's just too much overall, just a heavy experience. So that's where beer can work its wonders. Thing is though guys, I know that I could give you a whole bunch of different beers we'll pair with different types of Christmas cookies, but when you have a platter in front of you, you don't want to be opening up a whole bunch of different beers. I mean, maybe some of you might, but I prefer to have a beer that will just work with them all. So our key beer here is going to be sweet stout. Sweet stout is also known as milk stout or cream stout, and don't get these mixed up with dry Irish stout, which is kind of the most common style of stout. A lot of people don't even know that there's a difference between them, but let me tell you, dry Irish stout is not going to go well with our Christmas cookies. It's gonna make them taste really like thin and bitter and almost metallic. No bueno. So sweet stouts came about in the early 1900s when the English started adding lactose, also known as milk sugar, to their dry stouts, because funnily enough, stouts used to be prescribed to nursing women because they were thought to be very nutritious and just have all of the things that you need to make your baby healthy. So funny. If you've ever seen that old advertisement saying that Guinness is good for you, that's where all of this comes from. Anyway, this milk sugar actually added like sweetness to these stouts because milk sugar is not fermentable by yeast. So it really made the beer just a lot more fuller-bodied and sweeter and more chocolatier, which makes it a fantastic pairing to Christmas cookies. So if you didn't know that this difference with stouts existed and all you've ever tried is a dry Irish stout and you really don't like them, definitely give sweet stouts a try. I used to think that I did not like stout, and then somebody gave me a sweet stout and my life was changed forever. And I love pairing sweet stouts with anything dessert related or especially chocolatey, just because the two meld very well together. So if any of your Christmas cookies have chocolate in them, or if they're very buttery like mine, these things are going to be fantastic with them. If you want to venture out past sweet stouts, then I recommend going for another dark beer that has a coffee influence to it. Obviously those are also going to pair very well with Christmas cookies. And the one that I'm actually drinking today is the Stone Chocolatey. Seriously, one of my favorite beers of the season. Love it, and it's so good with the Christmas cookies. If you have a different style of beer that you absolutely love with Christmas cookies, let me know in the comments below. I am not denying that there are many different beers that pair really well. Just the sweet stouts and coffee flavored beers are my absolute favorites. Also, let me know in the comments below what favorite Christmas cookie traditions you have at your house. I'd love to expand my selection, maybe not to 15 like my grandma did. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Make sure to leave some cookies and beer for Santa, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!